Hello everyone, welcome to gsscore. Today in this session we are going to discuss a report released in July 2021 and that is Global Cybersecurity Index. Global Cybersecurity Index is published by International Telecommunication Union. It is published by ITU, International Telecommunication Union, and it is published since year 2015. The aim of Global Cybersecurity Index is to raise awareness with respect to cybersecurity amongst its members. Secondly, it also measures the commitments given by the member countries as far as cybersecurity and its applications in various sectors are concerned. Moreover, it also helps member countries to identify the areas where there is a room for improvement in cybersecurity. And moreover, it also encourages countries to take actions in those areas. Right? So, these are the aims of Global Cybersecurity Index. But before going into the details of this report, let us firstly understand the need for cybersecurity. Why do we need cybersecurity? We know that, especially in COVID-19 era, the services have gone online. There is increased dependence on digital lifelines. Similarly, there are almost 3.5 billion people who are online. There are almost 56 billion devices connected in the network, and this number is going to increase by 2030 thanks to Internet of Things. Moreover, especially in COVID-19 era, there is increased reliance on remote working and remote learning. And as far as individuals are concerned, there is large increase in the generation of personalized data, which may be related to their passwords, login credentials, and also about the banking services. So all this data that is put on the network by individuals is considered as a sensitive data. And if there is any breach of that sensitive data, then there may be a loss which may be financial as well. Right? So apart from the individuals, also we should take into account the dependency of organizations on online services. Both public as well as private organizations are increasingly creating more and more data. And that data is also related to certain critical infrastructures. So if this data falls into wrong hands, then those organizations, be it public or private organization, they may lose their business opportunities. And in case of government, there may be a strategic loss as well. And at the end, we can say that even society's reliance on critical infrastructure has increased, like the reliance on hospitals, hospital-based services, financial services, and also the services related to power supply. This infrastructure is known as critical infrastructure. And in case there is any breach of data of this critical infrastructure, then these critical infrastructures may be blocked from the access, or users won't be able to take right access of these services provided by critical infrastructure. For example, in case there is any bug introduced in power supply, there may be blackouts in important cities. So all these aspects have made cybersecurity important. Right? So that is the need of cybersecurity. Next important aspect related to Global Cybersecurity Index is that how GCI is measured. So in order to measure GCI, which is being published by ITU since 2015, total 82 questions are taken into account under 5 important pillars of GCI. And they are, firstly, GCI is measured using legal measures. legal measures. So under legal measures, Global Cybersecurity Index take into account the laws and rules framed by member countries. That is legal measures. Secondly, technical measures. Technical measures. So technical measures take into account the implementation of technical capabilities of various agencies involved in cyber security for a particular member. That means, let's say, what kind of actions does CERT-in take for India? So that will be included under technical measures. Third is organizational measures. Organizational measures. Under organizational measures, the national strategies and organizations implementing cyber security are considered by Global Cybersecurity Index. Fourth pillar is capacity development. Capacity development. Capacity development. And under capacity development, what kind of training measures, what kind of business process engineering is done by that particular member is taken into account as far as cyber security is concerned. And lastly, the fifth pillar of Global Cybersecurity Index is cooperation measures. Cooperation measures. And under cooperation measures, GCI considers what kind of coordination is there amongst various organizations, be it public organization or private organization in a member's territorial jurisdiction. And also the members' coordination or cooperation with other members is also considered while calculating Global Cybersecurity Index. That means how, let's say, India is cooperating with other members of Global Cybersecurity Index, that thing will be taken into account under cooperation measures. So these are the 5 pillars under which there are total 82 questions that are asked to members, and based upon their performance on those 82 questions, a Global Cybersecurity Index is prepared. Right? So these are the 5 important pillars to measure Global Cybersecurity Index. Now, if we consider Global Cybersecurity Index 2020, and if we take into account the scores and ranks of various countries, then USA is the first rank holder with 100% score. Second rank is shared between United Kingdoms and Saudi Arabia, shared by UK and Saudi Arabia, where their score is 99.54. 99.54. Third rank is of Estonia. Estonia, Northern European country, Estonia. Third rank, and its score is 99.48. 99.48. And if we consider India's rank, then India's rank is 10th in GCI 2020, and the score of India is 97.5. 97.5. Right? So there is improvement in India's ranking of almost 37 ranks in GCI 2020. And if we consider China's ranking, then China's rank is 33rd, where score of China is 92.53. 92.53. Right? So these are the scores and ranks of top 3 countries and also of India and China. Moreover, Global Cybersecurity Index also gives sectoral ranks, and India falls under Asia Pacific sector, where India's rank is 4. So under Asia Pacific sector, India's rank is 4th. Right? So that is about the scores and ranks of Global Cybersecurity Index 2020. Now, let us understand the current scenario of cyber security in India, the current state of cyber security in India. So if we consider year 2020, then almost 82% of Indian companies suffered from ransomware attack, where ransom was asked for access of the personal computers or the servers of the organization. So almost 82% of Indian companies have witnessed this ransomware attack in 2020. Moreover, the cost of recovery from ransomware attack has also tripled in 2020 to 2021. In 2020, almost $1.11 million was spent on ransomware attack recovery, and in 2021, the amount spent was $3.38 million. So there is almost threefold increase in the spending related to recovery from ransomware attacks. And as per the government, almost 1.16 million attacks, cyber security attacks, were witnessed in year 2020, and that is almost 3,150 attacks per day. So that is a huge number of cyber security attacks that are being witnessed by India in 2020. Moreover, almost 66% of organizations in India have suffered from at least one data breach since they have migrated towards remote working services. Almost 66, that means 2/3 organizations have witnessed a data breach since they have started work from home. And in the end, we can say that there is a report titled as the Internet Crime Report published by FBI, wherein India is considered as a top 3rd country amongst top 20 countries which are victimized by cyber crimes. So there is a huge vulnerability as far as cyber security attacks are concerned, and these vulnerability attacks have increased even after the establishment of the IT Act 2020 or enactment of IT Act 2020, even after the policy framework that was given in 2013, and even after having a dedicated organization to tackle cyber security attacks in India in the form of CERT-In. So the number of attacks have increased, especially in the COVID times, and hence there is a need to ensure that there is cyber security infrastructure to reduce this vulnerability of Indian organizations towards cyber security. So what are the steps taken by the government till now to ensure that cyber security is strengthened in India? So the most important measure is in the form of enactment of Information Technology Act 2000, Information Technology Act 2000. So this act is the first act to protect electronic commerce in India. Thereafter, government came up with a national cyber security policy in 2013. National cyber security policy in 2013, and the aim of national cyber security policy is to build a secure and resilient cyberspace for citizens, businesses, and also for government. Right? So to build a cyberspace which is resilient and safe, and using this cyberspace, we will be able to increase our share in global IT economy. So that was the aim of National Cyber Security Policy given by the government in 2013. But despite this policy and despite IT Act 2000, large scale attacks have been witnessed by India. There is almost increase in every cyber security attack, be it virus attack, be it ransomware attack, malware attack. All those attacks have been increased despite the enactment of Act and despite the policy of National Cyber Security 2013. Moreover, government also came up with a dedicated organization called as CERT-IN. That means Computer Emergency Response Team India. So that is the organization which is a nodal organization which deals with cyber security attacks in India. Fourth measure that government has taken is National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center. That means NCIIPC. So this is the dedicated center to protect critical information infrastructure like power sector, financial sector, and also the telecommunication sector. So these sectors are given protection by National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center. Moreover, apart from this, the government has also came up with a scheme in 2018, and that scheme is in the form of Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center, I4C scheme, wherein there is a focus on the research and development to come up with various new products for cyber security in India. Moreover, it also takes steps to prevent misuse of cyberspace by terrorists and other organizations of similar nature. Also, it is created to suggest amendments for cyber security laws in India so that those laws enacted in India remains relevant as technology is ever evolving. So that is I4C. Next is, fifth major is National Cyber Security Strategy 2020. So this National Cyber Security Strategy 2020 is still pending. It has not been passed. It is still pending. And the aim of this strategy is to have an umbrella organization to deal with cyber security in India. And also the aim is to have a separate legislative framework for cyber security in India. So two-pronged aim of this strategy. First, to have an umbrella organization to deal with cyber security crimes in India. And secondly, to ensure that there is a separate legislative mechanism to address the problems related to cyber security. Right? So this is the strategy given in 2020, but it is pending. And lastly, we can say that there is Personal Data Protection Bill 2019. We in India have given this particular bill in 2019 to ensure that personal data of our citizens is protected. Right? So these two measures, though started by the government, they have not reached up to their logical conclusion because the strategy is still pending and so is the bill. Right? So that is about the steps taken by the government to ensure that cyber security is enhanced or it is enriched in India. But despite these steps, there are various challenges that are faced by cyber security sector in India. So cyber security challenges in India. The most important challenge that cyber security faces in India is with respect to awareness. Many organizations and most of the individuals do not have right awareness about cyber security, and that increases the vulnerability of these businesses as well as these individuals to fall prey to cyber criminals. So the most important challenge is lack of awareness amongst businesses as well as individuals. Secondly, there is lack of national level architecture for cyber security. That means there is no mechanism wherein private sector and public sector organizations can come on a common ground and they take actions for reducing cyber security crimes in India. There is no umbrella organization which deals with cyber security crimes which will involve both public sector as well as private sector representatives. So that is also not there. And finally, there is lack of uniformity in devices used for internet access in India. If we take into account the security provided by the devices, like let's say cell phones, then the organizations or the cell phone manufacturers like Apple, they have the cyber security measures which can protect the user from getting exposed to cyber criminals. But the use of such kind of cell phones in India, let's say manufactured by Apple, is less than 1%. But if we compare this number with the USA, then almost 44% users in USA are using iPhones. So that is also a challenge as far as cyber security in India is concerned. And lastly, we can say that the challenge also is there in the form of pirated operating systems used in India. Most of the users in India use pirated operating systems as well as pirated applications, and that exposes them to cyber criminals. So these challenges need to be tackled if we want to strengthen cyber security in India. So what suggestions we can give to improve cyber security in India? So the steps for improving cyber security. First is there is a need of robust cyber security policy. Why we are saying that there is a need of such policy despite having National Cyber Security Policy 2030? So we know that there is a cyber security policy given by the government in 2013, but despite this policy, the number of cyber security attacks have increased manyfold, and hence there is a need of robust cyber security policy. Secondly, there is a need of dedicated program. For example, in United Kingdoms, there is a program called as National Cyber Security Program, NCSP, where there is dedicated funding. There are initiatives taken to generate awareness, to create awareness amongst people, and also there is a mechanism of providing incentives to business organizations so that they can adapt cyber security measures in their organizations. So such kind of dedicated program is needed to improve cyber security in India. Thirdly, identification of critical infrastructure and threats associated with them. There is an increased reliance on critical infrastructure. As we have already discussed, the infrastructure like power sector, hospitals, telecommunication, our reliance on these sectors have increased, and hence there is a need to identify more such critical infrastructures and also the threats that are posed to these critical infrastructures in India. So if we are able to identify these critical infrastructure, then we'll be able to strengthen the loopholes in those infrastructure, and hence it would be an added advantage as far as cyber security is concerned. Next, there has to be some incentive mechanism to private sector, because private sector, if they have incentive, let's say tax incentive, if they have installed cyber security architecture in their company or organization, then that will act as an added advantage, and their vulnerability to, let's say, ransomware attacks and also their outlay in the form of ransomware recovery will reduce if they have such kind of architecture. These organizations can go ahead and install these kind of architectures if there is any incentive like tax incentive. Right? So these steps can be taken to promote cyber security in India. And lastly, we can say that Though government has come up with National Cybersecurity Strategy 2020 and Personal Data Protection Bill 2019, these steps are still pending. And as privacy has made a fundamental right by the Supreme Court, there is a need to ensure that personal data of individuals is protected. And hence, the bill which is still pending and strategy which is again still pending with the government need to be taken to its logical conclusion, so that there is a mechanism to enforce protection of data of individuals, which is most important in the 21st century, because it has been rightly said that data is a new oil. And hence, to protect this data, there has to be passage of this bill, which was presented in the parliament by the government in 2019. Moreover, the strategy should also see the light in order to ensure that there is an umbrella organization and a separate legislative mechanism to take cyber security in India forward. Right? So that is about the cyber security way forward, and that is about the Global Cybersecurity Index given by International Telecommunication Union. Thank you.